Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Phoenix Trading Strategies Trade Forecasting Room, where strategic knowledge and information allows us to trade successfully. Today, we are in the Trade Forecasting Room. It is April 15th, 2015. Currently, right now, is 2:40 a.m. Eastern Time. For those of you that are joining us again, welcome. For those of you that are joining for the first time, welcome. Before we continue, let's go to the disclaimer. Future stocks and spot currency trading have large potential rewards but also large potential risk. You must be aware of the risk and be willing to accept them in order to invest in future stocks and forex markets. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. This website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy, sell future stocks or forex. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed on this website. Past performance of indicators or methodology are not necessarily indicative of future results. To apologize for that. Let us continue and let us go to the calendar. And as I said, right now we are not looking at that much news that would drive the market at all, but we are looking at quite a bit of news releases early this morning, so we could see some trade setting up that will affect the U.S. pairs this morning. Right now we only have PPI numbers month on month for the Swiss, Italian trade balance, Spanish 10-year bond auction for the euro. And you got G20 meetings all day long. Now, if you're like me, I'm sure you enjoyed today when you saw how that lovely protester jumped on the president of the Central European Bank's table and sort of made him realize that he was not alone at all. Far from it. She basically made him realize that there are people very, very upset at the European Central Bank. Now, you know, interesting enough is that no one really knows how profound the situation is in Europe. You know, numbers are numbers, but at the end of the day, it's really how people react. And oh, you got to see it. It's incredible. Once you see it, you'll realize that it was an oops, how dare we do such a thing. Well, they did, and she did. So, interesting enough, we'll see how it affects the markets. Now, earlier today, we did have some news, or yesterday, which would have affected the unemployment change and unemployment rate by in Australia. So you had two news releases at the same time that really, really drove the market. Now, it drove it in favor of the Australian dollar, as you can see here on the chart. When it kicked in, it really kicked. I mean, this was a really intense move. Now, that was practically 100 pips. During the Asian session, this thing hit at about, it was about 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I have it on the West Coast time, so it says 7:15, so it's about 5:15 p.m. my time. Not specific, but that's when the move actually kicked in. Now, you know, we're looking here at the 15-minute, no real signal there per se. Normally, I'd like to say that before anything, there's sometimes on the 20-minute, but nothing on the 20-minute. Let's see if the 10-minute gives it away. It was the 10-minute that gave it away. Look at that. But I'm curious to see if there was anything setting up on the 1 hour. Nothing. Anything on the 30-minute? Nothing. What about the 90-minute? Usually the higher time frames line up really nicely. Well, actually it did, and this was early in the morning. So this was approximately, this set up yesterday actually. This was about 5 a.m. in the morning when it hit Eastern time. And of course it never looked back. So imagine if you would have been able to catch this trade. This really would have been, or would have made one tremendous difference. Talking 175 pip move. Now that's on the 90 minute. So imagine how interesting that trade was. Now here, of course, this is where it kicked in. It was about right here, but it was on the 90 minute where basically you got the signal. Now it did go short originally, but met its match right here, and then it just popped, and it never looked back. Now, of course, we have a long signal here. I'd like to say it's short-sighted. I really would not be taking this trade right now. Number one, we're a little late. Power dots have already formed. Number two, I'm afraid that it's going to break right through it, because if it doesn't get to this level, it'll come right back down. So at this point, I would say this one's pretty much out of our reach. Now, normally, you know, we take a look at the market analyzer, and we try and make this as easy as possible for everyone, so that you can really see what makes sense and what doesn't. Now, this is a 15-minute right now, so for this one right now, it's pretty much telling us that the New Zealand dollar is one in play. You can see that we don't really have much with the Australian. You can see the New Zealand dollar here on the 15-minute. Very nice. You have a pivot. It's long. I would wait right now, being the fact that it's a second, we're a little late. Our entry, I would have said, would have been on this candle at 75.86. Right now it's at 7,600. So it's already moved 15 pips. Now normally, I would tell you, you know what? This looks to be that long trade, but after a move like this, it's moved too much to the upside. I would be actually looking for a reversal right now, and I would be waiting. I wouldn't be jumping in on this trade quite yet. Even though normally we look for these trades, and once they form, we go. But there is nothing right now that would drive this trade, and you can see that here. There is really nothing to drive it. It's already moved. So I would say wait, you know, see what, how far would it go up, I guess is the next question. And being that said and done, I'd like to say from here to here, 37 pips, a little bit too much risk after they've already moved 15 pips in that direction. I'd say sometimes it's better to hold off and just wait. Remember that here we learn not to jump the gun, but to let them lead us to the trade. And right now I think that they're telling us that there really isn't anything in particular to be getting emotional about. We don't get emotional about trades. We get very mechanical and we're very specific about it. So here, the pound dollar is flashing. Let's see why. Why? There's a power dot forming right here. Granted, it is the 5-minute, but let's see what the 15-minute has to say. Because now I'm curious. So see, they broke through this level, which is not a bad thing. Remember, normally when they do that, they will use it as a resistance level. Now as you can see, this thing came down, spiked up for all we know. They'll come back one more time, hit this level, which they already have, and reverse. I don't think we're going to see the reverse quite yet, but you know, this is a great example of a pair that we can dissect, as we always do. This would be the moment to do so. So let's take a look at the higher time frames and see what we have. Now 1440. Let me add. Ooh, this is going to be very interesting, actually. Let's see. We got 30 days. Okay, so let's pull this out. Well. So this thing started 2 days ago to the upside, and it hasn't looked back except for now. It'll be very interesting. Very, very interesting. We don't have any power dots here, but does not mean that we won't get them in the smaller time frame. We have one right here. Hallelujah. And I say that because when they form in the higher time frames, we respect them. We treat them with the utmost respect. And why is that? Well, very simple. We like to be correct. However, we did have one here as well, but this is the one that takes precedent now because it's the new one. So what is this telling us? It's telling us that this is getting ready to short, which is happening here. Now this would be the first attempt, or the first, I don't know, let's change the color on this actually. This would be red. Yeah, that's the one. And this one. So remember, we map these out because we look for more identification that this is going to go short. And we just got it right now in the 480. Right before it actually happens. So this tells us that we have a short trade. Now the beautiful thing about this system is that if it identifies it in the higher time frames, guess what? Normally, there's a trade in play. Let's see. In this case, it's telling us short. So let's continue to go to the smaller time frames. This may be the trade that we've been looking for, and it's pretty much mapping out the total amount of pips that it could move, which in this case would be 189. That's pretty significant. So they already went up, came down. They're here now. My only concern is that they would go up one more time, that we would be a little too early on getting in short here when the high here is 48.54. So you're talking right there another 15 pips, and your stop loss would be above that, making it a good 20 pip stop loss. So as we go down, we will see. Ooh, there it is, right there. Here's another one. Now this is a doozy. Crimson. Okay. Can't use that, but I can definitely use this. does. No. Okay, let's go to the 2 hour. As I said, it was here earlier. Look at that beautiful trade to the upside. Now we're looking for a trade to the downside. As soon as the trade's below that, bang, we're going down. I guess I would look at this here as a potential support level. So instead of 199, we're probably looking at around 150. Still a decent trade. Can't go wrong with it. Let's go down to the 90-minute. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't mark this one. This one looks very good here. I like this here. Yeah, see, I knew I was going to try and make a move to the upside. That's why I was a little patient. I wasn't ready to jump the gun on that. Down. We're looking to go down. Let us continue. We go to the 45-minute here. Oh yeah, this would be the one. Very interesting. You know, they came right at it, and like I said, your stop loss should be above this level right here, but this looks to be the direction. Let's take a look at 30. Ooh, here in the 30, right here. 148.14. Treacherous. Very, very treacherous. It's basically telling us to go long. They did bounce off of this level. I would wait right now, only because I'm curious. They say curiosity killed the cat. In this case, it could save one. Alright, let's go down to the smaller minutes even further. You have a pivot here. This could be that one retracement that they're playing, but in actuality could be coming down or continue to come down. It slowly came down, hit this level, bounced. This could be, I would wait for them to actually try and hit the trend stop right here, but they already have a pivot here. Excuse me. So I'm anticipating maybe one more move. If I don't see it, then of course I'm completely short. See here, 15-minute right here. They hit it, came down, and this is where it's bouncing from. Now I actually feel comfortable at this level getting in on this trade. Sell the bid. In this case, there are no buy, hold, sell trade recommendations. Let us see. Okay. So we got filled at 148.30. And we're anticipating this trade to go short. Someone has to tell me what's so funny. And see, we're just about to hit green right there. We're about to pay the spread. Cat joke. Oh. Yeah, I know. I'm not a cat fanatic, but I thought it was appropriate for the moment. So at this point, we're anticipating there's two reasons why I wanted to go short on this trade. Even though after I saw that, this formed here, it repeated itself, but it had already made an attempt to the upside. This was a level on a higher time frame, of course, which was a 480. Currently, this level here was on the 180, which basically confirms short. And as you can see, we're now up 2 pips, 1 pip. Now, I'm going to feel a lot more comfortable in this trade once this trade breaks this level, which would be 48.13. The minute it breaks below this level, and you can see the pivot right here, anticipated coming down to this level, which would be 147.54. What's that 148.28? That's a pretty big drop. You're talking about 70 pips out the gate if it plays. So, and if it continues, then this is where it's going to end, around 147.00 even. So that means that this has the potential of becoming a 128 pip trade out the gate. And if it continues to go down, then wow. I mean, just, what an amazing trade. But remember, when we go back to the 480 on this one, this is a trade that, as you can see, whenever power dots had formed, they move, and they move pretty aggressively. So the fact that it, and here's where volume comes in. So we're going to incorporate the volume indicator because I think this is a great example of volume divergence. Remember, we look for trade opportunities that most people can't see ahead of time. We see them. So when this happens, it sort of changes your whole perspective of the trade. Let's pull this here. Let us pull the data box now and see what are they hiding from us. Now, normally, the minute they start to form, we start to look. So in this case, here's where the first power dot formed, just to get an idea of how they're manipulating the volume at this time frame per candle. And that's quite a bit of volume they're pushing. So this was a bullish candle, or a bearish candle with bullish volume. However, what this means at this level is that since you had a net or cumulative volume of 34 million, means that buyers were interested in driving this up, but the sellers were not willing to fill that extra 34 million in orders. Now this next one was a bullish candle, of course, and they really moved volume here. This was 5 billion that they moved against 4.675 billion. Now, here, of course, it didn't move as much, but it did show that there was some bullish volume. Again, that additional bullish volume was not filled by the sellers because they didn't want to trade above this price level. But then this came in, and this one really did it. This one took it right to one of these levels, and here's where it hit the 480, but didn't break through it. And that 471 million in extra bullish volume basically told you that they were done. Now the next candle, you can see a decrease. However, that decrease is also holding price. Again, still 163 million in bullish volume. Why don't they break above this price level is the first question we must ask ourselves. Well, they didn't break above this price level because they never had the intention of trading any higher. And here's where they gave it away. And then finally they pulled this one, and this is the one that we're currently in. And of course, very little bullish volume here, very little bearish volume, but price action has moved from 148.54 to 148.33. That makes a difference right there. So because they failed to continue to drive price action to the next level, they are going to bring it down to this level, which is 146.95, or at least that's the trade that they should hit. Now, again, we look at trading from a different perspective than most. We look at it from the perspective of, okay, their algorithms are doing one thing. Well, what their algorithms are doing is basically telling us that they have no intention of breaking 148.54. Because that is the case, then we have no reason to be looking for a long trade, but every reason to be looking for a short trade. And that basically says it all. Now, what we have here is volume divergence. So as we go down into the smaller time frames, we go down to 120, the 2 hour. 2 hour will basically give us that clarity that we're looking for. Now again, we're looking at this trade from a different perspective. We're looking at this trade from a long-term perspective versus short-term. The long-term is saying short. The short-term right now is saying long. So it moved against us 12 pips, which is really nothing. Our tolerance for this would be, like I said, 20 pips. I'm thinking 148.58 to 148.60 max is where I would not continue to allow this trade to go against me. Now, granted, on the 15-minute, it did show that, but here's one of the things that I will usually take the long-term time frame information much more seriously than the short-term. Now, I did say that it could go long. I wasn't kidding, and I said that it could come and hit this trend stop right here, 148.44. So I did get in the trade a little prematurely, but I don't think that it will break above this any further. If it does, then this is really where I needed to stop, at 148.54. If it doesn't stop at that point, then I know that something's up. And the only reason why they're making this type of move usually is right before the London Open. It's called, normally in the industry, is what we call the Big Ben trade. Everyone has a description. We have Big Ben. So Big Ben means that they're going to drive this trade long, hit the stops, and then come down. That's normally what would happen. Now, if you didn't get in this trade, then I would tell you to wait, because there is a reversal coming. And when that happens, you'll probably be able to get a better entry than the one that I got. And once that kicks in, then there's no tomorrow for this one, because it's going to come down like a storm. Now, see here, this is the one that gave it away earlier today, and that's why it came down. And now we're trading within this range, of course. So we'll see. There's a pivot here, and then there's another pivot right here, 148.50. So we'll see what it does right here. That's why I came down to the 5 minute. Normally I don't like to go to the 5 minute, but you know, in this case, I want to see what they got. Especially because they played this one right off the 15 minute. So I want to see how high they're willing to move. For all I know, you know, and see, this is what I was looking for. I'm looking for them to do this type of nonsense, to attempt to hit it, but they don't hit this level, and they pull right back from it. 48.50 right there. Why? Because everything was trading below this price, and this below 148.52 pivot right here. So this is where it becomes very interesting. And again, I'm willing to go down even a little further on the time frame just to see, knowing that my trade, or the trade that I'm looking for, is short. And again, here's where we're looking for it to reverse from. So we'll see. But here on the 3 minute, look, you had a 15 and a 3 minute, and it did go long. Our entry is right here, 148.30. And I said 15, 20 pips is what they would move. So let's see what it does here. But look at the volume. I mean, if this isn't divergence here, I don't know what is. So let's see what it does. Interesting. Always an interesting to trade the European session. They come up with such surprises sometimes. Sort of shocks you. Let's see what they do right here, because they are really pushing it. Let's see. Now remember, just because they hit this short-term trade right now to the upside does not mean that they're going to continue to go long. That 480-minute line right there is a real doozy, and that's where they're pulling from. So I'm waiting for that reversal, and that's the one that you should be waiting for. Like I said, always an interesting one. Let's see what they do here. I love how the volume just got smaller here. Let's see on the smaller time frame. Now, question. Touch, exactly, just a touch. And that's the one that we're looking for them to do, the touch on the reverse. Let's see what this next candle does. Let's see if you're going to break that 480. No, you're not. That's right. See here, you could re-enter and go short again. Get another, a much more, a better entry here at 148.48. Let's see what it does here. $148.39. So let's see. Again, they can't. Ooh, wow. Are they going to attempt to break this? This is where trading becomes interesting. And you have to just wait and let them play out the trade. Sometimes you just have to trust the levels. Now granted, you know, I like the entry around here, so I waited. I said it was going to retrace, and it did. But sometimes they'll come up and hit that level right to the money before they come down. And that's okay, because when they do that, they really, really come down like a stone. So you got to look at it from that perspective. See, that is one very, very aggressive reversal right there. Now, if this candle comes down, this is on a 3-minute, this candle comes down and basically breaks 148.45, then this thing is really going to come down hard and heavy. So let's see what they do. Come on. Come on down. You're only 8 pips away from breaking even. And this may be the trade of the night for us, quite honestly. Remember, all you need is one trade. You don't need a whole lot of them. Just one. And I try and show you guys that because sometimes you get caught up in the emotion when you shouldn't. For instance, the New Zealand dollar, you know, we can come back to this one. I mean, it's only 9 pips away. But I'm sure the New Zealand dollar is doing the same thing. Let's take a look at this one real quickly. Again, look at that, same thing here. And this is a 3-minute. So imagine if we look at a higher time frame on this one. Actually, let me remove the volume indicator here because it will slow us down as we convert. Excuse me. 180. Ooh, right there. That one right there. 480. Nothing there. 720. Yep. Right there. They came right back to the level. So let's see if they pull from it, and they're trading right off of this. So that means in a smaller time frame, this level has to be identified, which is 7,600. Let's look at the 240. Yeah, 76.20 right there. But we're looking for that identification right there at 7,600 as well. 20. Pivot only. Let's see. Oh yeah, definitely. Nothing here yet. Okay, so let's go to the 90-minute. There will be one that'll give it away. There always is. Nothing on the 60 except for these pivots right here. These are the ones that are basically holding everything. Give me a minute, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, I'm developing allergies. Now, I hate allergies. They're so annoying. They say spring is in the air. They're not kidding. Ooh, 20-minute, look at that one. But they went right to the trend stop. Nothing different. And reversing, just like the pound dollar from this level. So let's see what the pound dollar is doing for us right now. We're actually positive. Go figure. We're positive 3 pips. That was a pretty steep drop on the 15-minute. And now we have a power dot. So now if you wanted to, depending on your risk level, you could throw the kitchen sink at it. Because you knew that it was going to go short. So, I guess the question is, do the power dots lie? Or do they map out the trade? Really, pound Swiss, you know what? As much as I despise the Swiss National Bank for what they did a few months, over 2 months ago, I'd say that that one probably looks about the same. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the pound Swissy. See, now we're up 6 pips. Oh, they hit this level, bounced right off of it. Treacherous, treacherous. And they had already started to come down. But something's up. Why did they hold here like this? I would actually wait for this one, for it to break below 143.16 before feeling comfortable getting in on this trade. Ooh, that is one outrageous move on the 5-minute. Yeah, this one's short too. Seems like the pound's in danger from itself. No buy, hold, sell trade recommendations, but actually no. I'm going to wait. I would wait for them to break 143.13 here. If it doesn't break below it, I'm not interested. See, it doesn't have the ingredients that this one had. The pound dollar has, and this is where you have to trade safe. Be wise about your trade. Now, what did this one have? It had higher time frame confirmation on the 480-minute. Now, let's take a look at that and see how valuable that information is. When you divide Hold on. 480 minutes divided by 60. That's 8 hours. That's an 8-hour time frame. This is a 180, if I'm not mistaken, hour time frame. So this is a 180 minute, a 3-hour time frame. You have two very specific time frames here that they're trading at. Two, which seem to be very, very important. The minute that they didn't break above this and that they pulled away so drastically is a good sign. Now, if we go to the 480 on this one, what do we have? We had power dots here that basically said short. Don't think about it. It's just going to happen. They held the price here, came back, and now they're trading right here, of course. But normally when a trade like this presents itself, this thing will move for about a day or two. We're catching it right at that moment. So calculate that this whole day, it could probably just come down, maybe to this level. And if it breaks below this level, then definitely it's going to hit this level, which is 146.96. And that's a big drop. I'd say 147.00 even, or even a 147.50 is still a good drop. That's 100 pips. But this could be a 1.5 day trade where it could literally kick a good 200 pips to the downside. So depending on how strong the news is in the morning for the US, which it looks to be that it's going to be pretty strong, I'd actually wait. I'd actually, as this trade progresses to the downside, move my stop accordingly around each pivot. And every time that it breaks below and goes to the next, then the next time it moves down, then move the stop loss even further. And you got to give it room to breathe. I think that's the lesson to be learned here, is that we have to let some of these trades evolve. Sometimes we get caught by our own emotions and we miss. Yes, a swing trade. And we don't get the complete play. Because in this case, we're looking for this play. Now, there's a power dot right here. I'm going to respect this very aggressively. Why? Because on the 15-minute, you have power dot confirming that, which happened on a 480-minute. That, to me, is very, very strong. Very strong confirmation of a short trade, not long trade. Now, what else do you see here? Let me give you a picture, for those of you that like patterns. This is a shoulder. This is an arm. This is the head. What do we see here? Another shoulder forming. What will happen next? Another arm to the downside. And that'll be a very aggressive arm to the downside. It may play out right now, or it may take its time. At the end, realistically, that's what's going to play. So I would say wait, let this trade evolve. But again, this trade had all the components we were looking for. So really no excuse. You have higher time frame confirmation. You pretty much know the support level or the potential exit, so you could actually put a take profit target on this one trade. You don't have to put multiple trades. You could just go in on one trade, and that would be it, and just manage it accordingly. Now, if you were, trading binaries, then you pretty much have an idea of where it's going to head. So if you were trading a daily binary, I'd say you can look for this one as a potential 147. I'd say 147.60 from where it's currently trading right now. And that's a good 90 pips. So if it, or even here, to be safe, 147.80 from where it's currently trading. It'll break right through it. You just got to give it time. I mean, right now it's only 7 pips against us, which is really, really nothing. At the end of the day, realistically, what are we looking for? And it's trading within the range. this range here is pretty much already defined. I'd like to say it's defined by these price levels on the higher time frames. So, okay, so they didn't like this price to trade below it because they knew they'd have to come all the way down here. Doesn't mean that they're not going to go do it. It's just a matter of time. 148. Ooh. Okay, yeah, 148 even. That works. And what did the binary cost you on? What was the cost of that binary at 148? I'm curious. Since it is out of the money right now. Ah, 33. That's still not bad. That means that you still have the potential of making 67 on it. Then if it hits your target profit, then you're pretty much done. That's per contract. So that's not bad. So there's many ways. 24.50 now, 10 contracts total. Wow. There's many ways that you could trade this. You could trade it in the spot. You could trade it in the binaries and pretty much know the direction that it's going to hit, where it's going to go. That's all that matters. If you can wrap your head around that, then you can see the simplicity behind the system. And there are trades every day that you can find. There are guys here that, are making money hand over fist trading the system. They've pretty much figured it out. See, look at that. Everyone got tricked that it was going to go long. Instead, it came down short. You had another re-entry to the downside. That's a third one. At the end of the day, like I said, it comes down to two things. If you understand a simple concept, what's that concept? Two simple concepts, actually. Our algorithm takes you back to grade school. Connect the dots, and if you can add 1 plus 1, then you're a prime candidate to learn how to use and trade this system. And that's all you need. You don't need anything more than that. Everything else is very simple. It's just math. It's numerical. You can't miss. Just let the system guide you. If you let the system guide you, you will find these trades, and you won't lose sleep over it. Like right now, quite honestly, I don't find a reason to look for any other trades, but you know what? Let's take a look and see if there's anything else that would... Ooh, the pound Aussie. I love the pound Aussie. And you know what? I like this trade to the downside. You got pivots here. Off the 15, you have a power dots, a pivot. I mean, this one, it already came down one time. And this is because the Australian got stronger. But now even more so. I mean, let's see this move. Because this one could be one outrageous trade. Oh, 206 pips. Ouch. I don't know. I would be somewhat concerned. After one moves that much, I'm sort of like, eesh. I don't know, maybe. If I would have gotten in earlier, I think I would have had a smile on my face. But I have kids, you have kids, and I sort of miss this trade. But I sort of question this right now. I mean, it's there. It has the ingredients for it. Let's see if on the hard time frame we have more confirmation. They can not really hit from here. Wow, what a treacherous trade. Treacherous trade. Let's see. 720. Nope, right here. Ooh, did go long. Let's see on the 480. Yep, there it is. Right here. God, what a great trade. This was earlier on. Why did we miss it? You know, this is why I need you guys to really look at this stuff sometimes and text me. Because if I'm not in front of the computer, I want to know. Look at this perfect trade right before the close. I mean, power dots in the pivot, and then bam, it just came down, no question about it. I mean, this was a great trade. You would have been done for the day if you were living here in the U.S. in the West Coast or East Coast in the U.S. Hemisphere. You wouldn't be losing sleep right now because this trade already kicked in. Of course, we're seeing this one unfold right now before our very eyes, but we would not be losing sleep on this trade. We'd be very happy with 200 pips on that one. Fell on Aussie News last night. Oh, wow. What a beautiful thing that trade must have been. Did anyone catch it? Besides me announcing it? Let me get some tissue paper. I'll be right back. Okay. So did anyone catch this trade last night? Because if you did, wow, what a trade. I have. It's allergies. They just kicked in today. I don't know what it is. So, I'd like to say that this trade is pretty much defined. We defined the entry, we defined the fact, the direction of it, and of course we're defining the exit, which is way down here, 146.93. It looks like it's just going to come down and pretty much settle up even further after the U.S. session opens. And if the numbers come up pretty positive for the U.S. dollar, then guess what? I mean, this thing's just going to tank. Now, if that's the case, then it could hit across the board. So let's take a look at the U.S. JPY, which is moving up with good reason. U.S. dollar strength. See if we can find a reason in the higher time frames for this one. Ouch. That hurt right there. That stopped it cold. But we may be looking at something on the pound yen as well. See, this one went up. Of course, this is because of the yen. Of course, now it's pulling down. See if we have something on the smaller time frame. Ooh. Yeah, see this one. This one has potential to drop pretty significant too. It hasn't kicked in quite yet, but it's coming. Nothing here on the 480. What about the 720? No. What about the 1440? No. What about the 240? Yes. There it is. The 240 right there. Oh yeah, baby. Show me the price. And I will show you everything else. This is a 240, so it's still and let's go down to the 180, 180 right there. Ooh la la. Oh, it gets interesting every moment. $90, no, 120, nothing, 90. Oh, Lord have mercy. This trade is just too good not to pay attention to. Incredible. Wow. 20-minute, 15-minute, 10-minute. Yep, I like this trade. It looks good. Let's take a look at the 5. Yeah, retraced one more time. Let's see where it goes. And that means that the pound dollar is also retracing. Look at that. Came right off the trend stop. But again, not a bad thing. Just reconfirms, because if it comes down from this level, then we know we're good. So the fact that we're seeing this take place right now is not a bad thing. Actually, it makes me like this trade to this short even more. No buy, hold, sell trade recommendations, but I'm going to take a short position on this one here. Your stop loss should be here, above 177.21. So we got it at 177.11, if I'm not mistaken, yes. So 12, 13 pips should be your risk here. That's all you should risk on this trade. Nothing more, nothing less. Unless you want to get really interesting, then 15 pips. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I look forward to you getting the software this week, Dennis. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to one thing. You gotta take that leap of faith. You gotta move forward. Most of the people that are using this software are having success with it, because you're getting that level of confidence of information that you didn't have before. Why? Because we're isolating the trade plan that no one else is willing to talk about. I mean, this trade's only gone against us 5 pips. 4 pips now, which is nothing. We know what the potential for this trade is. Again, 5 pips. You know, not a big deal. 6 pips. But I do want to map out this one right now while that's taking place. This one will be very interesting, actually. So let's do that. Let's go to the 1440 and map this out. This is 1, so we're looking for leg number 2, and it could come to 174.86. Ooh, that's a big drop. I don't think it'll drop that much. This is way down here, but let's outline it. We'll go green with this one. And we'll leave it solid. Alright, let's work our way down. and map this out. Here it is, right here, buddy. This is where you're going to make us all happy. Oh, look at that. I'm at break even on that thing, on that trade. I'm up 1 pip. Again, we are taking our sweet time with this. We are not in a rush to jump into trades. That's the beautiful thing about this system, is that it allows you to analyze with time. Now this used to be here, but it's in the middle of this range. I would actually use this to see 176.35. Yeah, from where it's currently trading. If it dropped from here to here, talking about 100 pips right there alone. If it breaks below that even further, incredible. Remember, the last thing that we do is jump the gun. We take our time very, very diligently. This is 720. This is a 480. We're up 2 pips, 1 pip, 0 pip, down 1 pip. Make up your mind, pip, 1 pip, and let's continue to go down. Okay. This right here. Oh, this you see. Look at this. When they broke this level, it came down like a stone. And then it broke through this level aggressively all the way down here. That's exactly the same trade that we're looking at right now. There's nothing different. History repeats itself. You just have to wait for it. Now, they broke through this level, so this is not one of those levels that we normally call support or resistance. It was actually a support, but not really. It was one where they broke right through it. This is one of those hot pink colors. Yeah, we'll leave it there. It's a good reference point. We're up 4 pips. Said the wise man. Finally. You were looking for the pink line, really? Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. Help me. Yeah, see the 180 right there, the power dots. There you go. Beautiful. Let's go down to the 120. Oh my God. And we're not even looking at volume. I'm just giving you just the trades by themselves. See if it breaks. This is a very important support level right here. Because if it breaks through this thing, it's going to drop like a stone. Miserable allergies. Just hoping I don't get sick again because my almost 4-year-old got the cold. And I'm assuming it was at preschool. Kids. So yeah, this one right here is a doozy. If it breaks below this one, it's a straight dive. Let's mark this level here. Oh, great. Behave yourself. We'll use forest green. And we will use that. Yep, that's the one. Come on down, baby. We need you to break this price level. You break below 176.81 and you are doomed. Again, you know, the power dots just don't fail us. I mean, they are a gift from heaven. It is, you know, when me and my partner designed these algorithms, it was really just a godsend. I mean, we're still besides ourselves, you know, seeing the results. We're like, wow, you know, really? We actually did it, you know, to decode the market makers' algorithms is just incredible. Just incredible. All right, let's go to 45. Nothing. Nothing here. It's okay. No worries. We're looking for more confirmation. Nothing. 20 minute. Come on, give me something. No, it's just all these are higher time frame trades right now, and that's a beautiful thing. Oh yeah. There you go. Calm down, buddy. Come on down. Yep, bring it. Bring it. We look forward to taking it from you. Every single pip. We're going to take from your hide. Oh, look at that. And we have power dots on the 10-minute. Hallelujah. There is a God. And he wants you to be a phoenix too. There it is. So that we don't forget. What a beautiful thing. That, I mean, those power dots are just a sight. Not only do we have them here on the 15-minute, we have them here on the 10-minute. I mean, God, does it get any cleaner than this, is what I want to say. You're in the trade. I do actually. But today, really, I wanted to just show you just the strength of the power dots. But I'm glad you asked that question. Let's take a look now at the volume. We did it earlier. I think now we have two potentially good trades that we don't need to be concerned with. We just basically need to let them be. So now we're going to add the volume, and we're going to read. We're going to read volume. We're going to interpret. Normally, these are lessons that I give you when, you know, after you have the software and all, but I'll look at, you know, we've got time. I think it's important to really look at sometimes. You know, today is this day is dedicated to identifying trades, forecasting, which is what we did. So we have two lots here, two standard lots. We're up 10 pips on this trade, but let's take a look at the volume. This is where it becomes interesting. Okay, so here's a data box. Now, we take a look at this one here, because it's on the 50 minutes, where the first power dot formed. Why? Because we want to know how and why 148.55 not only was important in the higher time frame, but in the smaller time frame confirmed. So here you pretty much had, look at the amount of volume they put into this candle. Let me get the pointer. Look at this one. Look at the amount of volume they put into this trade. 225 million on the buy, 171 on the sell. 54 million. Now again, this is a zero-sum game, so it has to balance out to zero. Okay? If you have a balance positive, that means, in this case, that the buyers were wanting to bid this higher, but it means that the sellers were not willing to fill those orders. That's how you interpret volume here. Now, it is very difficult to wrap your head around that concept, and I've had discussions with engineers about this. Believe me, you know, engineers are a unique breed. I know, I'm married to one. Everything has to be logical in their own little world. And if it's illogical, it doesn't make sense. This is an illogical concept, what I'm proposing. What I'm telling you here is that That additional volume right there is really telling you, not telling you that it's bullish, but it's telling you that the bulls are losing control. Hard to believe, isn't it? Now remember, we've synthetically created volume here. So you're getting the emotion behind the decision process of the algorithm. Now next candle, this one right here. 229 million on the buy, 208 on the sell. Again, now we have a bearish candle with bullish volume. But where it's settled at is what's more important, because it's settled lower than 148.55. And it had bullish volume, but the buyers gave it up. The next candle comes in, bam. Again, 237 on the buy, 200 million on the sell, difference of 38 million. It's still, you know, why are the sellers not filling those orders? That extra 38, because they were trying to bid it higher. That's the reason. And then, of course, now we're in this candle, and you have more bearish volume than you have bullish volume. And that's really what this is all about. So if you can understand that concept of volume when you implement it, then it makes sense, because we're trying to confirm that the bank's algorithms, or market makers in this case, have already predefined their decision of where they're going to drive this trade. If it's predefined before a news event, then is it fair to say that they have more information than you and I? Okay, let's just say for what it is it rigged? Yes, you could say that. Strong, very strong, how can I say this? Allegation. However, you're forgetting one concept. This is all about risk management for them. They are trading on the defense, not on the offense. You and I trade on the offense. They trade on the defense. Now, the fact that we have information that puts us on the VIP list that they don't want us, that's their loss. That's our gain. Now, do others have this? Not really. Excuse me. I can tell you that I have searched and searched and searched, and no one out there has anything remotely like what we have. Their entries are late because they're using lagging indicators with moving averages. Moving averages don't work. They've been counter-programmed. Why? You can see it in the volume. Look at all that volume that's driven into those candles. But yet it doesn't reflect in price action. This is a pound yen. Again, great example for us to look at. Let's pull a data box out. Look here. This candle. 283 million on the buy, 198 million on the sell, 86 million. And they were trying to break above this price level. Why? Why did it not reach or break? Because it had been predefined. Next candle. 279 on the buy, 272 on the sell. Again, a bearish candle with bullish volume. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, does it? No, it doesn't. And it's settled further away. Now, the minute this one opened and closed below this level, which is a 180, then that's when it became dangerous. 250 on the buy, 288 on the sell, and now you have negative volume, just like you have it here. So, it's a zero-sum game. It has to add up to zero. If there is more volume, more positive volume on this, then basically that tells you, guess what? That this is not the real thing. See here, 29 million on the buy, on the sell, 10 million on the buy. There was more bearish volume. Yes, they drove price down further. Doesn't mean that it's negative. It means that the buyers were willing to fill. So here's the fight. We said that right here, if it breaks below 176.80, they're done. They've pretty much given it up. Our entry is a great entry because it's, you know, what was our risk here? I said 15 pips max should have been the risk. 20 pips. They never really hit 20. It was about 15, if that. And we were in here at this point, I believe. So now you can move your stop loss to break even or 2 pips positive. Do it. It's not going to come back and hit it. Same with the pound dollar. Why? Because now it's on them, not on you. Take your risk off the table. Break even. You don't win, you don't lose. Here, I would wait for it to come down. Like I said, 148.13 is my price. Once they break that level, then at that point, I'm comfortable moving a stop loss from 148.55 down to 148.35, giving me still 1 to 2 pips positive, you know, making me positive on that trade. So in the meantime, yes, they're going to play this game of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, do we have any news? Yeah, we do have some news. Italian trade balance. That's what came out right now. There's nothing else. So they're going to hold and hold. They're going to play and play. And you're probably going to see that they're going to drop later within the next 2-3 hours. They'll drop. And when they do drop, then they're going to set up for the U.S. session. And that's when you have to be aware. But right before the U.S. session, right before 8:30 hits, where does that put you? More than likely, you'll be positive in these trades. If you're up 50 pips, then at that point, you can either move your stop loss or take the money off the table. Again, all I can do is show you where the trade's heading. You're in charge from that point. You determine your risk. You determine your reward. I can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you where they're going to end up. In this case, it's going to be down here. Now, not necessarily all the way there, you know, but I'd like to say definitely around here. So if they come down to 147.09, not 147 even, then, you know, I would say, that's cutting it really close. I can still, you know, have a good profit at 147.10. So that's how you have to look at it. And if you can trade with that simplicity, then you should have great success. Now imagine what we do when we have news. I mean, that pound Aussie was just an extravagant trade for the news. I wish I would have been around, quite honestly, for that trade. That would have made my week. Forget the day. Remember, my goal, my personal goal is to try and make 300 pips a week. That's my personal goal. Last week, wow, you know, we hit over 1,200 pips. That was phenomenal. One of the best weeks I've ever had historically. So this week, I wanted to take it a little easy, like I said, but, you know, look at this. See, this thing isn't going to move as much because it already moved 200 pips. I mean, if it went down another 50 pips, I'd be shocked. That's why I said I'm not that keen on that trade, because it already moved. This one, on the other hand, the pound dollar and the pound yen, they look to have great potential to come down. pretty aggressive. The pound yen looks to drop. Let's see. Oh, and we're coming up with a market report that's going to blow your mind. See the pound yen. I mean, for me, I feel comfortable with the pound yen coming down to 176.35. Now that's 100 pips from up here, but it could come all the way down here to, I'd like to say 176.09. Now if it does that, wow, that's incredible. You know, we're talking a 100 pip run from our entry. That's pretty phenomenal. And if it continues to go down, then 175.73. So I'm hoping that the news for the U.S. is really, really good, because if it is, the pound's just going to collapse. And since it already had a 3-day run, because, you know, let's see, let's go to the 480 on this one. If I'm not mistaken, it had already moved 3 days to the upside. That's the beautiful thing about trading Wednesday evenings, Thursday mornings, is that, see, look here, you had one, two, practically 2.5 days. 1, 2, yeah, 3, 2.5 days practically that it moved to the upside. So yes, right now we're looking for it to come down. Down, down, down is what we're looking for. And it's mapped out. It doesn't get any better than that. So let's see if we can find one more that would be worth our while. Give it a second. Pound Aussie is definitely not one, because it already moved. We're late on that one. Pound CAD. Now there would be one. Let's take a look at the pound CAD. See if it even remotely looks like it's going to move in our favor. Okay. All the way up here, huh? Oh man, I would have been more comfortable. We would have done it down there, but okay. Let's remove the volume indicator here so that we can take a look at this on the higher time frames and move fast. Right there. Oh my, 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 my. We are going to go with red there. Actually, that's a solid pink because he broke right through it. So I'll use hot pink on that puppy. We'll make sure everyone notices that. Nothing here. Let's continue down. Da 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 da. Nothing here. They're all up there. Let's continue. Nope, nothing here. Boy, this one's a real stubborn one, isn't it? Nope, nothing here. Let's continue. Nothing here. Wow. And it goes on and on. Nothing here. No, it's going down way too much. But that's good though. It's not a bad thing. I'm telling you, sometimes you just gotta wait for it. Nope, Nothing here. Excuse me. I mean, if this candle closes within the next 45 minutes, and this candle closes below this level, it's short. There's no question about it. You would actually have a very tight stop loss there. I mean, really tight. See, there's a power dot there way at the top. Let's continue. 20-minute. Again, it just, I would wait on this one. I'm not too comfortable with this trade. Again, I have to be really, really comfortable. Look at that. Yeah, see. I could take this trade short. No buy, hold, sell trade recommendations. Stop loss would be here. Not too far. Give me a second. Okay. And your stop loss is really you're not exposing more than 15 pips on that, if that. Here, 182.78. Entry was 182.65 or 66. What's the potential for the drop here? 182.12. So you're looking at a good 50 pip drop on that one. I feel comfortable with this trade. So we have three trades. We have the pound CAD short, pound yen short, and we have the pound dollar short. Pound yen short, we're already up like 21 pips or so. Pound dollar, we are up 20 pips on this one. There's two lots on this. And again, once it breaks below 148.13, move your stop loss down to a break-even point. If you wanted to close these trades right now, you could actually walk away with a total of 60 pips. In 2 hours, I mean, quite honestly, I haven't found anyone that does that the way we do it here. But if you do, please tell me, because I haven't seen it done anywhere else. So unless there are any more questions, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're done for the evening. I think you pretty much have your trades. You have your entries, you have your potential take profit targets, and we just said, wow, look at that. Wow, look at how that thing just dropped. Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. You know, sometimes I really like when they punch right through. It gives that, you know, that feeling of like, eek. Like I said, that for me, that level was like, if they break right through that puppy, that's it. They're done. They're gone. A great night, quite honestly. A great night. You know, like I said, it just doesn't get any, you know, any slimmer than that. And I know that this is great practice for those of you that have the software, because it allows you to see and, you know, and analyze, okay, why did I do what I did? Why did I choose these trades? And remember, we're looking for specific setups. They're there. Every day they're there. You just have to wait for them. Yes, this is the best feeling. I mean, you just, when you know that you've won, it's a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment that you've been waiting for a very, very long time. I know this. I know this very, very well. And so all I can do is just tell you guys, for those of you that are still struggling, just be patient. It'll come. This is why we do these sessions, these European sessions. One, to forecast these trades. Two, so that you can take some of these trades if you want to try and recover part of your investment in the software. And three is to teach you what you should be continuing to look for. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Like I said, if you wanted to get out right now, I mean, you've got a little bit over 60 pips that you can be taking out right now. Let's see what the pound yen is doing real quickly. Yeah, you got like 70 pips that you could literally yank out right now of these trades. See, now we're positive on the pound CAD by 1 pip. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for joining me tonight. For those of you that will be watching this video because you did not join us for this video, shame on you. Shame on you for not taking advantage of what Phoenix Trading Strategies has to offer. Shame on you. But for those of you that showed up, congratulations. Your dedication, your time will be rewarded. That I can assure you. Thank you for joining me tonight. Watch your stops. Move your stops accordingly to keep the trades positive. And we will see you Friday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Have a great, great evening. And once again, thank you for joining us at Phoenix Trading Strategies.